Hey, welcome. You're listening to the podcast Dr. Apples. The fun, fictional fantasy folklore about me, Dr. Apples. Lacey, that was some wicked alliteration you had me say.
What are you doing?
I'm podcasting.
No, you're not.
Yes.
No, you're not.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, you're not.
Oh, yes, I am.
No. No.
No.
Give it.
You
give it. You
yeah.
give it.
Give it.
To me.
Fine. You podcast then. I'll go check on my ghost laxative.
Enjoy the show.
With a knowing of there being more to this third dimension, Dr. Apples grew up alone, without friends. He was okay with this arrangement. The void of not having to accommodate others' issues gave him the freedom to explore his mind rather than socialize with the simples. Let them worry about their wars and racism. He never felt a connection to it anyway. He was interested in tapping into other sensations. No, nothing involving wet dreams. With his free time, he was able to learn how to astral project. If you don't know, astral projection or astral traveling is when your body and mind are at a rested state. You separate from your physical body, and your astral body, some call it spirit, is able to travel throughout universes. Many physical sensations and urges happen that one must discipline themselves to overcome to achieve this ability on purpose. Often, the astral projection experience can happen by accident, and a person may be able to recount the experience, but most people usually forget once they wake. Astral projection happened to Dr. Apples organically. He didn't have a name for it, nor thought to discuss it with his mother, as he assumed it was a common occurrence when going to bed. There's a difference between dreaming and astral projecting. He figured astral projection was one of the reasons most children dreaded going to bed. They didn't know how to control their experience.
Mama, do you know how to fly at night?
He eventually brought up the occurrences with his mother. She was familiar with it, but didn't feel comfortable teaching him any techniques. Not much information was recorded during his childhood about astral projection, but many people from his mother's coven, aka witches, were knowledgeable about the execution, but were too far to assist. He concluded the self-taught process was the best method for him. Dr. Apple's technique of astral projection came to him instinctively. Almost every night, he would practice traveling and exploring other realms. He would lie down in bed and close his eyes. Tingling sensations would course throughout his body like tiny needles prickling every part of his skin. With his body extremely sensitive, after a while, he felt a magnetic tug which pulled upwards and made him feel as if he was coming out of his body. The most common reaction is to physically get up to make the sensation stop, but he ignored it. His chest was the first to feel the pull. The invisible pull began from the side of the body. The pull becomes stronger and gradually reaches your center mass. The sensation traveled to his arms, legs, fingers, and toes. His head was the last to embrace the feeling. To keep the feeling going, you must remain still everywhere with your eyes closed. No scratching the itches, no moving the head to feel more comfortable. Still. Mental struggles occur. They are the biggest challenge besides moving. Get up. What are you doing? This isn't right. Scratch that itch. You're not comfortable. Start over next time. Just sleep. You need the rest. You don't know what this can do to you. You're gonna die. Just kidding. I'm being dramatic. Mental struggles were overcome by Dr. Apple's curiosity. And finally, there is a release in not controlling the present and just embracing the experience. Just let it be.
Wow.
Once he released and accepted the unknown, he felt light and away from his physical body.
This is amazing.
Stress and worries are attachment to earth, but not where he was going. In this experience, you can explore and expand your knowledge and be in the amazement of letting the universe showcase its wonder.
Wow.
Dr. Apples would eventually fall back into his body after the experience and drift into REM sleep. Oh, how he wanted to have these experiences consistently. Every astral projection occurrence is different. In one particular occurrence, Dr. Apples performed his normal routine. He laid down on his bed, closed his eyes, and began the astral projection process. Once past the release stage, he was able to view his physical body asleep. It looked like watching a video of oneself.
Oh.
His body was lying flat on his back. He saw himself breathing in and out. He began to feel himself rise effortlessly while watching his body appear asleep. There wasn't a moment of pause to take in the moment. He just began to rise higher. He saw the roof of his home, then the neighborhood. He wanted more time to observe the details of this perspective. Higher, he saw the earth's luscious greenland, beautiful blue oceans, and ethereal clouds from the backdrop of the clean black universe. Still, no moment of pause. He wanted to take it all in. He thought he would stop rising, but no.
Oh.
He looked at the small earth now below him. A look forward and noticed black nothingness. A look down and saw black. It wasn't scary, just unnerving. The darkness was soon interrupted by sporadic green squares all around. These were random, but eventually connected to each other uniformly. They seemed to connect to form one large grid. From there, shapes of matter began to form. Stars, planets, green glowing grid-shaped beings appeared. Beings which resemble dragons, snakes, monster hybrids, gracefully traveling around the galaxy, but never approached him. He could observe the creatures in detail, but didn't interfere. Oh, how he hoped he could remember every detail of this moment with ease.
What was that near me that just grazed me?
He thought.
What?
The birds chirped.
I said it's time for breakfast, silly.
His mother yelled through his bedroom door. He woke up. After many experiences with astral projecting, he was most certain there was more to this life than just this planet.
Yes! I knew it!
Dr. Apples would awaken to his body feeling tingly. His eyesight was blurry and he felt discombobulated. He would go about his day seeing different movements.
Huh?
It was a common thing for Dr. Apples to take a daily walk. Walking by the creek, he would always pass his favorite willow tree. It has so much character. It should have been painted on a homemade canvas with oils to preserve its aesthetic beauty. He would often look at the tree and appreciate it with a grin. One time, a neon green silhouette appeared around it. It radiated like a candle by an open windowsill.
Huh?
He slowly blinked twice, and the glow was gone. Then it came back. Then it went away again. Often, he would question what he was truly seeing, and his daily living state seemed like a blurry dream.
Am I awake?
Was this the new norm? A Dr. Apples episode a day keeps the boredom away. But you're just an episode away from the next part of Dr. Apples' extraordinary journey.
Get ready for more merry magic mystery and laughter. Subscribe now so you don't miss a beat.
Dive deeper into the adventure at drapples.com. Until next time, keep your apples polished.
And your magical tote bags filled with hybrid skeleton bioactive goo ready.
We still have those in stock.